Did you know? The Nintendo Game Boy was the first video game console played in outer space. The system, loaded with a copy of the game Tetris, was played by Russian cosmonaut Alexander Serebrov. He sent the device back to Earth with a note attached saying, "Like all cosmonauts, I love sport. My particular favorites are football and swimming. During flight and rare moments of leisure, I enjoyed playing Game Boy." The Nintendo Game Boy was released in 1989 and was designed by industry veteran Gunpei Yokoi. Yokoi began developing the device in 1986, but the origins of the console date back even further, all the way back to 1979. That year on a train ride home, Yokoi witnessed a bored businessman playing with a pocket calculator, randomly pressing buttons to pass time. In 1980, Nintendo released Ball, the first title in Yokoi's Game & Watch series, and Nintendo's very first handheld video game. The multi-screen series of Game & Watch games even inspired the creation of the Nintendo DS. The 1982 port of Donkey Kong for Game & Watch was the first video game to feature the cross-shaped directional pad, or D-pad control scheme. Even though more advanced technology was available, the Game Boy's hardware was chosen to be cost-efficient and use as little power as possible, just like the Game & Watch before it. The LCD screen of the Game Boy was given a blank green background because, in testing, green contrasted best with the LCD overlay in different levels of light. During the Gulf War, a Game Boy belonging to an American soldier withstood an explosion during a bombing raid. The unit suffered cosmetic damage, but it was operational. In fact, it still functions today and is on display at the Nintendo World Store in New York City. One of the most expensive handhelds ever produced was a Game Boy. Asprey Jewelers in London once sold a Game Boy for $29,500. It was plated in gold, had diamonds all around the screen, and weighed about 6 times more than a regular system. After World War II, South Korea placed an embargo on imports from Japan. So in 1990, instead of Nintendo selling the device, Korean company Samsung did, renaming it the Mini Comboy. In 1998, Nintendo released the Game Boy Camera and Game Boy Printer. The Game Boy Camera held the world record of being the smallest digital camera of its time. Another Game Boy accessory was the Super Game Boy. Super Game Boy was an adapter for the Super Nintendo to play Game Boy games on the TV.